Today was the International Women's Day. I think I'm saying that right. Look, I'm really kind of ashamed to admit that I did not know what that was, and truthfully never even heard of it until today. Now, as a father now who has a daughter, these kind of things, I promise that I will pay attention to more often. But in honor of today and celebrating women's rights and women that inspire me and are unbelievable, I thought I would tell you a little bit about one of the women that had the biggest impact in my life, and that, of course, is my mom. Let's kind of start at the beginning. My mom is, well, I mean, she's just one of the strongest women I've ever known. She is extremely resilient. She has a lot of grit. She's really small and petite, but doesn't take anything from anybody, is very strong in her resolve. There's nothing more in the world that she cares about more than her family. And I just admire her for so many reasons. And, you know, she was kind of born and raised in Texas, a little, not tiny town, but, you know, at the time went to kind of a smaller high school, never really even been on an airplane until her honeymoon, really. And then she meets my dad. Well, folks, they fell in love. My dad was just kind of getting started in college, and she was still in high school. He took her to her prom, and basically just they fell in love. So they're in college together, they're falling even deeper in love, and finally they even get married on campus in a chapel that's like bigger than this orange. And it's just incredible. And after my dad graduated from college, he got a job, and that job was to go overseas. So now my mom, who at the time had only been on an airplane one other time, is now flying across the world to live in Southeast Asia. Now, because of the nature of my dad's job, it required him to be away from the house like almost 50% of the time. He was traveling a lot. And first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby in a baby carriage. And folks, that was me. So now my mom and dad were living in this sky-rise apartment in downtown Singapore. She's doesn't really know a ton of people there, essentially. The only family she has is my dad, and he's traveling, so essentially she had to spend a lot of time all by herself. Now, I think that although her resilience and grit existed beforehand, this is really when, like, you know, the pressure was put on, kind of like when the coal was turned into a diamond. My mom's having to navigate through a foreign country in a foreign land, and not just in Singapore, but we then moved to Jakarta, Indonesia. My brother was born not even 2 years later, so now my mom's got 2 kids under the age of 3, and all the while my mom is just toughing it out, figuring out, like going to the market by herself, literally fending off people trying to rob her. I remember one time she was, you know, going to these open markets in Indonesia where there's just like, I mean, a cornucopia of tropical fruit and all of these foods and things that she would get for us. And these guys like tried to rob her. They grabbed her purse, and she hooks her hands and like literally, and this is no joke or an over exaggeration, like karate kicks the guy in the side, and the guy just like is dumbfounded, like and they just like run off, completely obliterated somebody trying to rob her. Isn't that awesome?
I didn't even know she could kick like that.
Yeah, I don't think those guys did either. You know what I mean? Like, my brother and I have these like fond memories, and as we talk now, it's like my mom was like, you don't even know. And that really kind of does speak a testament to how strong and resilient she is that even as hard as it was to live over there, me and my brother never knew any different, because she made it into an amazing environment for us. I mean, she really is a perfect example of how strong and important not only a mother is, but a woman is in the lives of all of us. I'm gonna get a little bit biology nerd on you and just let you know one cool fact. Did you know that every single person inherits the mitochondrial DNA from their mother? In other words, there is scientifically this idea that essentially we can all be traced back to one mitochondrial Eve. Here's something that Anne kind of brought to my attention. Here's what's cool. So a mitochondria are literally the cells within us that convert food into energy. So if mitochondrial DNA is inherited from our mothers, I think it's an important fact that essentially we get all of our energy from our mamas. To every woman out there, happy International Women's Day, and thank you so much for being you.